really comes down to my focus on really trying to empower women to make financial advice as approachable as I can for them. And to that end, I've recently launched a new website, which is Leapfrog Women and Money. And that's really all about educating women about what their financial options are and trying to make them more confident. I often refer to it as a place for women to go and get extramarital advice. They might be in a great relationship, but sometimes they might not be comfortable to ask their partner exactly what a particular thing means. What they see when they come to the site is that there's a huge range of resources and tools. I've developed a financial personality test to find out if someone's a spender or if they're frugal or if they're simply overwhelmed by their finances. It also has things like how to consolidate and choose the right superannuation fund, and also addresses things like the huge underinsurance issue. Over 100 different videos talking about a whole range of different financial topics, as well as little courses on Finance 101, understanding superannuation, and a whole range of different aspects. With the recent launch of the Leapfrog Women and Money site, for me it's about trying to spread the word as much as I possibly can, and this award, even just being a finalist, helps me to spread that word that little bit more.
One of the things I've done or created is a workshop series called Wealthy Wise Women. The philosophy around Wealthy Wise Women is it's to really educate and empower women. I'm really trying to increase their financial literacy and really get them to understand that a man is not a plan and they need to stand on their own 2 feet. Over the past 15 months, I've run 4 workshops. I've had 200 women attend. I get some amazing speakers, and we've raised $5,000 for charity. I've got 3 charities: Think Pink Foundation, Fitted for Work, and Women's Health West. Just with Women's Health West, I also use those proceeds to charity to go towards a financial literacy program for their African community, and a couple of weeks ago I ran a workshop for 20 Burmese women from the Chin community, which is really exciting because it's almost recycling. So you're using the proceeds from the workshop, from women who've paid who can afford financial literacy, to using it to women who can't afford it. I think what's really rewarding about the workshops is knowing that you've connected all these women, provided them with some new knowledge, things that they didn't know before, inspired them to take a next step in their lives.
It's a passion, it's not a job. You know, I don't wake up in the morning and feel like I go to work. I wake up in the morning and go to this amazing place with my amazing team, and I have the privilege of sitting and listening to people's stories, and they tell you so many important things that they probably haven't spoken to their partner about. So that's a real privilege. It's a real honour, and you just got to treat it with absolute respect. My job is to impart knowledge, not to keep it. What a waste, what a waste. If you keep your knowledge and don't share it. I've been fortunate enough to understand some financial complex situations, but I have a unique skill in being able to translate that into a language you'll understand. And that's constant feedback I get from my team and my clients. Any presentations I do on the feedback sheets, that's what I get. And I practice that, and that's what I'm all about, is breaking down some of this financial jargon and putting complex strategies into a simple way that is meaningful to my clients and to anybody else who I speak to. I think it's just an extremely rewarding profession. We have impact on people's lives beyond what you would ever think you do, and sometimes when you get feedback from them, you just, you know, it makes me feel good.
When I was 10 years old, I accompanied my mum for the weekly shopping trip. and we lined up at the ATM, but when we got to the front of the queue there was no money in the bank. And she turned to me, and after cursing what she thought was my father's lack of financial management, she said, "You know, darling, women, we're only one husband away from poverty." But it really started a fire in me to be financially independent myself and then to give that gift to other people. The program I'm involved in, which is the Superwoman Money program, it's a free program that's exclusively for women, and it gives women the opportunity to feel like they're in a safe environment, to have information that's relevant to them, but it's delivered in an accessible way. So I love the idea that there's a women-only space where good quality information and the opportunity to ask whatever questions is relevant. No question's a stupid question. That's a really engaging thing for me to do, and I get a lot of satisfaction from it. So part of what we do is ask clients to take a step back and help them actually change their behaviour, and to think about what genuinely makes them happy, and then use money in those ways.
I don't think I've ever had a client that's just come because they want you to tell them what to do with their money. I want a relationship. I run workshops, I run seminars, they're all run over many series of weeks. We're putting people's financial decision making back in their hands, not in our hands. They're making the decisions. And they get excited about it. They come to reviews with a notebook and a pencil and insightful questions. It's exciting, that's a high five moment. And we've got women who say their lives have changed because they now manage their own financial affairs, they manage their own lives differently. Today I've met 5 other amazing women. I want to get together with them and make things change. I think there's a lot we need to change in the industry, and the foremost with that is that teaching needs to be broader across the industry so that clients give informed consent, and until they can, they shouldn't be asked to sign for anything. I get so much joy out of it, it is success in itself. That's why I'm still working, otherwise I'd be retired gardening. I love doing what I'm doing.
It's those raw, human, very, real challenges that all of us face, and I get inspired by the fact that I set them a challenge and they rise to it, and then we keep growing together. And for me, that's a very inspirational thing. I think that's a bit of an adrenaline drug that you look for. Is just, I'm not really into famous people. I'm actually more into everyday Australians battling the odds and looking at what they're up against. And that can be anything from someone diagnosed with cancer in a family and looking at how the family's going to pull together and deal with that. It can be people coming to see me saying, "My God, my finances are out of control." I had a lady say to me, "I bought my husband a boat because we were fighting so much, and that's on the credit card too, and we couldn't afford it, and it's just completely out of control. And unless you take it all, we're going to lose our house." And watching people climb out of that and achieve milestones, I find that really inspirational. They'll come in and they'll have a big grin on their face and say, "You set me the goal. I've done it. I've reined the credit card debt. I've cut the credit card up." Or, I saved that money that we were going to do for that overseas trip so I can take my wife. That stuff is great, and I've got lots of stories. I've got so many stories, and that's been probably the great gift back. And those stories have come from the people I've looked after.